Well, here we go, episode 45 of the Hunt Landman podcast, and this is a remote podcast all the way from Waukon, Iowa.
We'll go with Decorah.
Decorah, Iowa.
This is
Northeast Iowa.
Yes.
I've got Curt Headington here with UC Hunting Properties. I've got Travis Hamele, the founder of UC Hunting Properties, on the phone. Travis is just down the road. He had a really good hunt this afternoon. I filmed Curt this afternoon when we had a really good hunt. But before I get too far, as always, the Hunt Landman podcast is brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. They take great care of us. And where I'm headed tomorrow, Missouri, they even finance land in Missouri for our southern borrowers down there. So it's weird for me to say down there in Missouri because it's way north of where I am. But anyway, thank y'all for being on. And Curt, thank you for having us up. Just to get y'all up to speed, let me kind of tell you a little more about who everybody is. Curt, give me your title at UC Hunting Properties.
Gosh, do I get to make one up?
Sure. It's your lie. Tell you how you want to.
I don't even know how to tee that up, Trav. I mean, I feel like the gopher at UC Hunting Properties, but I don't know, like maybe a program manager or something. I don't.
We got something. We got to come up with something cooler than that.
No, it's the kind of the coordinator of the whole program.
Yeah, program manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brand manager.
Brand manager.
See, Lori's the brand manager of Hunting Landman podcast.
Dude, Lori's the manager of all things Slade Priest.
Well, I gave her a cool name. Well, and then Travis is the owner and founder of Midwest Lifestyle Properties, formerly Hamele Properties and Auctions. Am I saying that right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, they are, usually the number 2 office in the nation behind Southern States Realty. But when we do lose, we lose to them. But and it's so fun because we're all I mean, like, competition. It's not really a competition. We talk all the time, and it's really more trash. It's way more trash talk over the text messages, usually sparked by Brad Smith or Scott Lindsay.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
I mean, especially, I hate to bring up bad things like when your guys' office got set on fire, and
Yeah. So did Curt do that too?
Yeah.
He's the gopher.
You guys were like, well, geez, you set our office on fire so you guys could get to number 1. And I mean, that's the kind of trash talk.
Well, there's just a coincidence that like 2 weeks before the office got set on fire, my primary office was now Natchez. So somebody said, well, that place ain't worth having now.
Light a match.
But we are well underway with new construction. We're getting more offices. The office is going to be better. So we're blessed. Nobody was hurt or anything. We had very, very little damage. And shockingly, we had moved some office around. We had very little things that weren't replaceable in there. So it turned out good. But anyway.
Blessing in disguise.
Yep. So Curt's had us up. I drew an Iowa tag this year, and I was fortunate enough to fill all my Iowa tags yesterday. So we'll go into that. Curt's got us up here. He's got all these forms set up. We're blessed enough to come up here and hunt. And we hunted day and a half. First morning. Let me get back to the first morning. First afternoon.
You came in.
Yeah. First afternoon. Saw a lot of deer walking in. Saw a couple of deer here and there. Kind of a slower afternoon. But yesterday morning, we was pretty hot yesterday morning. We got in there. It is November. We're recording this on November the 5th, so this would have been November the 4th morning. Magic in northeast Iowa in November in the hardwoods. Curt, you were hunting just down the way.
Yep.
You had a pretty decent hunt, too, because you remember we were going to get down and then...
It just seems like it just sparked off, like, timing-wise, you guys got here, and
look,
all the signs were that you timed it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
weather-wise.
Weather-wise.
Deer cast.
And deer cast went from literally, 6-7 day run of great, literally, super high barometric pressure. And you guys got here, it was going to warm up. The winds were going to kick out of the south. I mean, all the stuff we don't want in November. And I was a little concerned, I'm not going to lie. But then, lo and behold, I think you probably had the best sit.
One of the... I can't think of a better rut sit. So let me get us up to speed. So that morning, we had a great hunt. We're hunting, and in this area where we're hunting is a giant 6-point.
Sounds stupid, right?
It sounds stupid until you see him. He looks like this elk I'm looking at on the wall. I'm serious.
Hey, Slade, would you have shot that 6-point?
100%.
I told Curt, he asked me, you think Slade would shoot it? I said, he'll shoot that thing in a heartbeat.
Look, I'm hunting age, baby.
And I'm laughing because I told Turtle, I said, if Slade doesn't smash that deer, I'll put you on him.
And Turtle's right here filming if y'all didn't know.
Yeah. And so then when you text me and you like, dude, he's here, I see him, or he's chasing does and stuff, I'm like, oh, Turtle's gonna kill me. Slade's gonna hammer this thing.
So we get in there and we're having a good hunt. We're seeing a lot of deer. And the 6 comes out and he is dogging her doe. And he makes 2 laps on the ridge above us, 2 laps. And so we're thinking, okay, next lap, we got a saddle. It's a lot of pinch points, a lot of deer coming there. So he's coming. Well, that didn't end up happening, but we kept seeing deer. Another buck pushed a doe, a little young 11-point came right under us. I rattled, and then another, probably a 4-year-old 11-point that had the bow. He was big enough, he had the bow in the hand, and then no, he's not the right deer. Had a really good footage of him, so a great morning hunt. Got out at like 12:15.
Mm-hmm. Sat later than normal, but based on activity.
But and Curt had a good hunt as well. So we went in the afternoon, different spot. Wind was switching around, and when Curt kind of said, well, he kind of told me we can go this spot, and he said mowed corn. I'm like, look, I know how to kill a deer over corn.
Technically, it was mowed just to have some shooting lanes.
Right.
So,
but it was basically a standing cornfield with some shooting lanes, and then a plowed field back behind me. So Curt literally, from a he knows this area, knows these deer. We pulled up to the base of the stand, basically 10 yards from the stand, in an F-250. We get out, we're quiet about getting out. However Curt goes, he's hunting farther down the farm. Well, before Curt even gets in his stand, literally, I crawled up, I hung Hunter's stand, hung him a Novix Helo up there. He got in the stand. I sat down. I've got my backpack on. I don't have a safety system. I've got rangefinder, nothing. I look coming across the thing, and now I know it was the deer I shot coming across the corn. I mean, just barreling after. I said, get the camera on. So I'm grabbing release, and then I look around. I'm like, okay, it's too far. I've got to have a rangefinder. So I'm getting rangefinder, and I finally, and that goes on for what, 10 minutes before we get a shot? And so I text Curt while they were running around farther out in the corner. I said, dude, it's going off over here. There's bucks everywhere. It ended up being like about 10 bucks. And finally, the buck comes back out, chases the doe to the lane, right under the stand, goes the opposite direction. He loses the doe. Young buck comes past us, and I had just rained this corner of the cornfield. It was 40, but it was so far below me. It was like 41 on the rangefinder, but I had to shoot for 35.
Yep.
It was like almost like an elk shot.
Well, Trav, because I mean, it's
so where you killed.
Yeah, you killed yours out of the blind further down the ridge, but you understand the height difference between the field and
absolutely. But it only took me an afternoon. So.
Well, I only hunted there one afternoon.
That's true. That's true. And his hunt, yours was faster there.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, the deer comes out, shot him. I knew I'd hit him a touchback liver, but I felt like it was quartering weight, and I shot him with a really big three-blade B3 expandable, the Meg. And for that shot, the perfect broadhead. We waited till the next day. Had a great hunt the rest of the afternoon. Saw a bunch of deer. Curt, we may have seen his shooter, and he heard that chase going by him. So it's a lot going on there. And literally from the time we got in the tree till we got down, there was some kind of chasing or something going on. And
it was magic. I mean, it was chaos.
It was crazy.
You could tell the first couple hot does were in that area, and every buck, who knows how far. And
it makes sense. We were talking about before the podcast, November the 4th. Typically, we think most breeding happens after November the 4th. But it would make sense for there's 6, 8, 10 bucks on this doe because she was one of the first ones to come in.
For sure. I mean,
I watched her get bred twice.
Today, morning and this afternoon, I watched does still packing fawns.
Right.
So you'd argue they're not even close to coming in if they're still packing their fawn.
Right.
No, that happened to me tonight. I was out there, and the field was full of does and fawns, and that buck that I ended up passing came out and just dogging every one of them, seeing if any of them were, you know, ready.
That's kind of like what we were seeing do.
Yeah.
He was left, you know, discouraged with his head down, and luckily he didn't have an arrow in him.
You hunting some pretty good deer up there, Travis?
Yeah, it's I'm hunting a ghost deer that doesn't exist, I think.
I know the feeling.
But
Well, Curt, I won't speak too much of it, but Kurt's hunting a really, really, really big one, and I think he's there. I think he's there.
You've seen him. I mean, based
Yeah.
on what you both said, I think you've seen him.
I think he's there. I think he's it's right now. Like, where would we have put a camera this afternoon where we would have had all the deer? You know, like it's not. It's and then if you do, it's the doe first or the young buck first, and do you get the buck? So it's hard to say. But I've been watching my cameras in Missouri. They look decent this afternoon. There's a big shooter right after dark. So me and Hunter are going to probably be there tomorrow afternoon. Really cool treat. I'm going to the Expedition Factory, which I've never been to before. We're going to do a couple things to my new X31. Excited about that. It is it needs a little Gatorade because it's I think. Oh yeah. Well, hold on. Let me back up. Let me tell you why it needs some Gatorade. So anyway, after I shot the buck, you know, in Iowa you get a buck and a doe tag, and you don't tempt me with a good time like a fat Iowa doe. And I think, you know, they had this thing called Chasing 49. You kill turkeys in all 49 states that have them. I want to start a doe thing. Kill a doe in every state. I think that should be a thing.
What's wrong with you?
I like shooting stuff, man. I like shooting stuff. But anyway, so the doe was down in the corner, and she was like 40, 45, and it was down towards where the buck was. And I said, I'm not doing that. And so then she started coming up the hill to us, like in the bedroom with us. And I texted Curt and said, you want any doe shot? He said, if you want to shoot her. Well,
Didn't take long.
no, we watched her fall, and she fell on the road.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, fell on the road in the opposite direction of the buck, so everything was good, and shot her 2 hours after we shot the buck, 2.5 hours. So we've got, let me say this, Travis, we've got a lot of Iowa deer meat in the freezer right now.
well, I had some last night actually from my last year, so it's
Nice.
good.
Yeah, it is good. Y'all's deer eat better than our deer, but hopefully
They eat like cattle, right?
Yeah. Hopefully I'm going to have 2 more in Missouri. I've got, and then I got a doe tag in Missouri too. So just saying, maybe 3.
When you hunt in Missouri?
Tomorrow afternoon, I will be in a tree. So I hadn't decided where we're going to go yet. We got fortunate to have a lot of options. Just got to figure, and nothing's like, and I'm glad Kurt's seeing this. There's nothing like, usually in Missouri, I'm like, okay, if I go sit this field with this wind 2 or 3 days, something's dying. Right now, the cameras are just kind of all over the place. Shooter here, a couple does here. So I don't know. But anyway, needless to say, we had a great hunt. We found my buck this morning. He died.
He was dead yesterday.
Yeah, he died 10 minutes after I shot him. I mean, it exited in the lungs. But we were being safe, and he was just as dead this morning as he was yesterday afternoon.
Fact.
Meat was good. It got down in the 30s last night, so we're all good. And we're thank you so much for having us up. That was fun.
Very welcome.
And we got a big old bruiser. He just an old beast. I don't know.
When you post the picture, you know, the drone picture, you laying next to that big thing, that's pretty cool.
He was
a horse.
I don't know, 270 pounds. He was big.
Bet, yeah.
He was
a horse.
He was a big old deer, but a great hunt, and super blessed to be up here. So kind of tell you backstory. I told Curt I'll maybe draw an Iowa tag. He said, hey, you come on up here. And we've been working with Southern States Realty and Huntland, man. We've been working with Curt and Travis and everybody involved with UC Hunting Properties for a long time. But we've really, and let me see if I'm saying this right, we're really ramping it up right now. We've got all the things that Travis and I put in our wish bucket list are starting. We're heading down that road. Is that fair to say, Travis?
I would say the wish bucket is getting actually added to also. From,
Nice.
What we wanted, and you know, good things come to those who wait, I guess they say, right?
That's right. Well, see, the cool thing about what UC Hunting Properties is, okay, if people listen and walk, what is UC Hunting Properties? So United Country is our main brand, United Country. And United Country sells everything outside of urban America. And let me just say this. Every other real estate company you're thinking of when I say land real estate company, we sell more in a month than they sell in a year. And that's not debatable. That's just statistics.
Those are facts.
Those are facts. I'm not picking on them, but we sell a lot. You know, I say this all the time about like, you know, in our area, how much I sell or how much our office sells. I told a client the other day, they were like, well, do y'all do a lot in Wilson County? I said, I hadn't ran the statistics this year, but in past years, if it was over 100 acres in Wilson County, it was a 70% chance that either me or my office sold it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Good run rate.
Good market share. That's a great market share.
Anyway, but United Country is like that across the country. You know, we sell a lot of ground. I mean, you know, and we sell big stuff. We sell little stuff, and you know, I've heard my clients say this, well, your competition said, you know, y'all sell, and I don't, but our office sells houses and small acreages and stuff like that. I sell more bigger stuff. I focus on that. I said, but I tell my client, I said, who do you think buys $1 million farm? A guy with a $500,000, $1 million house. And guess 100%. What? We can service them both. Okay, so, that's United Country. Now, UC Hunting Properties, you know, we needed a brand to put on your hat, to put on your shirt, like Curt's got on, you know, to put a sticker on your truck, because we are, you know, the UC Hunting Properties agents. We're the guys who wait 5 years to draw an Iowa tag. We're the guys who say, hey, man, why don't y'all come down and shoot a hog with us? And why don't you come up and shoot a deer with me? We're the guys who we're all going on an elk hunt in Montana together next year. Like, that's who we are. And so that's what our clients are, our recreational clients. Of course, we sell big farm ground and stuff like that. And so something that I've talked about on the podcast before, but now I got these two guys on, I can re-emphasize this. We're not playing land realtor. We're not the guy who goes hunting open air rifle season and then takes his picture in his goofy clothes, and I'm not saying any names, but you know where I'm going with that. He takes his picture and, I'm heading hunting or whatever. Dude, I live and breathe this stuff.
It's in our DNA.
That's it. I mean, like we're talking about, you know, if this deer makes it and you know, putting this much corn, is that giant Muscanus working? Is a sand, like this is what we do.
Yep.
And I think that's what we're going for with UC Hunting Properties is like, this is what we do. And, you know, kudos to Whitetail. They've done a great job of marketing their, you know, their self in that realm. Mossy Oak tried. But the sheer fact of the matter is our technology, our agents, our reach, our footprint, you add all those companies together and they may be half.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a fact.
And we're only trying to make things better. So UCHuntingProperties.com, if you've never been there, it's a lot like a lot of the other land sites. It's one of the better ones. I get more leads from it than anywhere, but I push it a lot. And it's geared, Travis, tell me to be on UCHuntingProperties.com, it's got to be 20 acres and above. And then you have, and people out there listening, clients of mine, you ever get on listings and it's got 2 pictures and no maps or anything? Well, that you can't get on UC Hunting Properties like that. It has to be a good quality listing with good pictures, good maps. And what else does it take to get on there?
We do have businesses also. So if there's a hunting business, we do have that.
Yeah, like outfits.
Auction category. And we do on special approval if we have like a 7-acre cabin that borders 10,000 acres of public hunting, and we can relate that around that. We do allow those on occasion if they fit that, you know, it can't be next to a state park that can't be hunted. I mean, that
I don't know. You got
have a 6-acre food plot.
Yeah,
it was a 7-acre tract.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I mean, nothing better than a neighbor that don't hunt.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a preserve.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, yeah, every listing before it goes live gets reviewed by our office. You know, the UC Hunting Properties, just to make sure it fits those guidelines. And I mean, the other day I was sitting here reviewing things, just making sure everything was falling in line. So we have that buttoned upness that is needed in this sector.
You know, and I think people search land a lot of different ways, but the guys, I should say people, I shouldn't say guys, people looking for recreational or hunting properties, there isn't really one website other than UC hunting properties where when you go there, that's all you're looking at.
Right,
is a rec farm.
Mm-hmm. And look, there's somebody out there saying, well, what about they sell house trailers on half acre? I watch it all the time. They use it as they use it as ammunition against us. And I'm like, I thought I saw you post on Facebook yesterday, a half acre house trailer. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with half an acre in a house trailer. I own a half acre with a house trailer.
She gone, Trav.
You know what I look at that, Slade, is you might get 100 acres in a house trailer, but what you learned on that half acre with that house trailer will make you a better agent for your client on that 100 acres with that house trailer.
Well, the last time somebody called me about listing a half acre in a house trailer, I just bought it and I rented it out. And it works out real good. But so Travis, Curt, tell me, okay, UC Hunting Properties, we got some stuff going on. I'll start it and y'all finish it. Okay, one of the things we're doing now, we're doing some training, which was needed. Training on making all of us better agents. We did it actually up here in Iowa, at Mark Heck's farm earlier this year. We went and I spoke and several other people spoke. We talked about best practices as far as video, deer management, did our Deer Steward 1 course, and camaraderie and things like that. Learning from the other top agents, I think, is the strongest thing. I know we've got that. What else do we have coming down the pipe that people can look for UC Hunting Properties that we can talk about?
You going or my Trav?
He's looking at you, Trav.
Go ahead, Curt.
Sure.
Talk about.
I think the one big thing that we're really focused on is we already know we have the best agents. Like, and I don't care what state we're talking about. The members that are part of UC Hunting Properties, they're all top guns where they're at.
That's right.
And I always use that island analogy, right? You guys all live on islands at United Country because everyone puts their head down and gets to work and owns huge market shares, we're in their region, let's call it. So our goal is to truly up the marketing game for UC Hunting Properties and show people the true scope and scale of what's out there. Because it doesn't matter if you're in Mississippi or Louisiana or up here in Iowa, Wisconsin, if you're down in Texas, out in Colorado. I mean, name the spot. We have an agent
that services that area.
Services that area, but also thinks like us, in hunting and the outdoors and all of the above, right?
I'm going to stop, but because this is a good point. Okay, clients. I have a lot of my clients listen to this podcast. Here's the deal. I get it. You want to call the agent who has it listed.
Yep.
Okay, well, look, first of all, it doesn't cost you anything for us to represent you on a thing like that. Here's what the difference is. And Hunter's been part of this a million times, and I know Travis is like this because I know his character, and I know so many of our agents' character. When you call me and say, first of all, for any client, you should say, what's your goals? Okay? Because as a professional, like a fitness trainer or anything else, if you tell me your goals, I back it up from there, okay? And so if you call me on a certain area and say, Slade, I only want to shoot 5-year-olds with my bow. Or let's take the other thing. Let's say, Slade, I just want my kids to see your 6-point. I just want my kids to be able to see some deer at one hunting. Sure. Okay, well, if you want that, we don't need to spend the money on the top end ground. We can get you more acreage for cheaper and still accomplish your goals. If you just call the guy that's got it listed that works for pick your poison, Century 21, Keller Williams, whoever,
right,
that's not a hunter and markets themselves like we do, they don't know.
Right.
I mean, they don't know, and you can be doing yourself a disservice. And guess what? It doesn't cost you any more money for a top-end agent like ourselves. The correct thing to do is if you do call the agent and say, look, I've already got an agent, I'm just trying to find out a little information from you, or call one of us, and we run down the information. Now, usually, we have to make our own maps and do all that because they don't have them or don't know how to make them, which is fine too, and we can get you all the information. But you're doing yourself a disservice by not going with a hunter, a real land pro versus just a guy who has his name on the sign.
Not all farms are created equal, right?
Not even close.
And I think that's what people don't understand. They think, hey, you buy in rural America, you can go hunting on it. And that might be true. But the difference is, if you're looking for the right 20 or 30 or 80 or 300 acres for that matter, they're not all the same. So when we look at it from a hunting perspective, I just think you're getting a different skill set or mindset for sure on if that farm's going to meet your goals.
That's right. Well,
with that, Curt, and Slade, not every farm is equal, and some farms are dialed in, ready to go. I mean, stands in place, years of history, food plots, pretty much as turnkey as you're going to get it, versus a rough farm, and they can be within a mile of each other. Everybody's going to think the comps are the same, but they're not.
Right. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
and to explain that to somebody and understand how much it costs, because we do it ourselves.
That's it.
And a lot of people can afford that extra little chunk and say, do you have this many extra hours a week to work on your farm, and you're 2 hours away or an hour away? And they automatically start putting two and two together and understand that even the more expensive farm that's turnkey is a better play
value,
and one that's
Well, and truly to understand the value. I mean, heck, that one we worked on last week, Trav, that was 195 acres, but there was probably $20,000 in blinds, in tree stands, getting left on the place.
Right.
That alone, I said, you could justify.
There's $100 an acre right there.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Travis, one thing I've noticed as my career has come, I buy more property, I spend more money, I do more projects, as I'm getting older, my income goes up. And what that does is, just like you said, Travis, like if somebody says, I don't know, that farm costs a lot more. And okay, you have to be the professional in the room, not just an order taker. I tell my clients all the time, I'm not an order taker. You want a professional, I'll be a professional. So anyway, all right, Curt, you told me you wanted a farm with a pond on it, and you wanted it turnkey because you didn't have a lot of time. Well, this is that. Do you want to spend 2 years, or you want to spend 5 years getting enough fish in your pond for your grandkids to fish? Because this one's already got it. No, I don't want to spend that time. You got to be the professional to explain to them what's actually going on. Because as a professional, you can remove emotion also. And look, this is not emotional. You told me what you want. These are your goals. Okay, let's look at worst case scenarios. Yes, you're going to pay a little more for this turnkey farm. But guess what? If you get ready to sell it in 6 months, I can get you your money back, because the turnkey is what's selling right now. And pick your poison with that. But you got to be the professional room so you can make sure your client's spending their money wise. It's not salesy. It's just showing where the value is. And
Well, it's the truth.
Yeah, that's it. Land sells itself. You don't have to sell land. Land sells itself. It either meets your goals or it doesn't. And you can afford it or you can't.
Exactly. All we have to do is help, guide them to those answers that they have, because they don't do this every day.
That's
Just
it.
Like a heart, we don't do heart surgery every day.
That's what, you look.
Well, Slade's broke a lot of hearts.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's married and kids and stuff off the market.
Oh, I thought we were talking about does.
Oh, okay. True. Deer hunting, does.
Hens. But you see, you threw me off with that.
I threw him a curveball, Trav.
I had something I was going with.
I don't know if I've ever heard Slade Priest not have something to say. And
I can come up with something real fast. Well, Trav, what else we got coming up with UC Hunting Properties? What do we? Where do we see? What can the public see? What can, what are the public their agents gonna be able to know and learn better from what we got going on?
Without letting things out of the box, we are going to kind of showcase the lifestyle and the areas of the lifestyle and our marketing going in the next year.
Is that Q1 2024? We're working on that, or what's the plan there?
That's when we're working on it right now, but yeah, launch is Q1 is what we're looking at.
We're kind of targeting convention as let the cat out of the bag.
Mm-hmm. That convention that starts 3 days after turkey season starts. Yeah, I know all about it. We left Sunday morning last year, and I had one dead by dark.
Oh,
I sent
funny.
somebody a picture of a cigar was burning. I said, that didn't take long. It was Don Bell I sent a picture of.
That's awesome.
Well, let me see what else we got. Well, I tell you what, Travis has been on the podcast before. Now, I don't know if you've ever listened to many of our podcasts, Curt, but on our podcast, everyone, or did I already do this with you with the $100 million question?
Mm-hmm.
I did. I did.
We did it when you guys were up for the NDA. We jumped on that.
That is. We did. We did.
podcast.
So the $100 million question, have you changed your answer any?
Probably not, but I don't remember what I told you. So if I answer it incorrectly,
Go ahead.
I guess call me a liar.
Go ahead.
So your question is, if you had $100 million.
Okay, you get $100 million. You win the lottery tomorrow. $100 million in your account after taxes. You get $100 million. Where are we going to buy land and why?
Yep.
And why am I representing you?
Yeah, right. Wow, aggressive. I like it. No, I'd pile it up right here. I'd have an incredible amount of acres, and it would be a very diverse mix. It wouldn't just be rec farms. I'd be buying big ag. Most of the time, you can get both if you're looking for the right piece and working with the right agent. But I'd pile it up here in Iowa first, and then secondly, I would own a ranch in Montana for sure.
Oh yeah, we'd be better friends.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna tell you, if I won $100 million, I would maybe pile it up here too, because my residence would change, because my jet would be able to fly me back and forth from Mississippi to Iowa. Trav?
I definitely would, first of all, buy a ranch in Montana. That would be.
See, I've never even been to Montana, so October next year.
I'm telling you, I started hauling Hamele out there with me, because all I blab about Western is Montana. And I've hunted some other states, but I fell in love with Montana. And Trav's got the same disease now.
It looks, I mean, it looks unbelievable. And so Ryan and I, like, we had we have a good time every year. This year, it was like, we're getting better and better at it. You know, we're learning more about calling. We talk about, okay, this scenario and this is how we're going to do it and all this kind of stuff. And so when we got home from elk hunting this year, me and Ryan were talking, and we talk every day. And I said, man, 1 week elk hunting enough for me. He said, I totally agree. I said, let's do 2 next year. And so then I talked to Curt. So we're going to do our Colorado and we're going to do Montana. And dude, whoo.
Yeah, I got you slated. Slate is slated.
They're elk are in trouble. I'm just telling you. I'm mad at them. I have not killed one the last 2 years. I'm all glad Blake got his last year and I called him up, but I got an itchy trigger finger.
We got a Hamelstein on his first bull this year.
I saw that. Good bull.
That bug's bit him fully.
Well, that was your first bull?
Yeah.
That was a pretty bull. How far did you shoot him?
70.
Really? Reached out there and touched him with the old.
Well, dude, it was an awesome stock, number one.
And was he out there with a cow or?
He had a little harem with him. What was there? Trav, dozen, maybe 15.
I have no idea. I just stood up and shot.
It was cool. Yeah, it was super cool.
Remember, I was the guy laying down face first.
Yes, and I looked up and I seen a cow. So I got to give you a little background on this. We busted tail to get ahead of this little harem, right? They were in kind of a little bowl area. We were up on the ridge, seen them because the bull was hammered. So we went up, looked, and I looked back. I said, "Trev, you want to kill that bull?" And he's like, I think he looked at me like I was nuts. Like, there's no way. And he was right. There was no way from where we were. So we hoofed her probably, mile and a half, 2 miles to get around him. And lo and behold, we didn't know this, but the bull actually had bedded shortly after we seen him. So he had actually laid down, and we hoofed it all the way around and got ahead of him. And as he was bugling, we knew where they were at. So
He was bed bugling?
yeah, it was just a matter of, hey, where do we intersect them? Where do we cut them off? And where we stopped, and this is funny because anyone that knows how big Trav is, big dude, right? It was like me trying to sneak Sasquatch around.
Just don't steal his beef jerky.
That's right. Yeah. He takes that serious. But we were in like knee-high grass. Like we were out of cover. And there was one tree I was trying to get us to, and we had stopped. And right when we stopped, Trav's literally on all fours, and I'm knelt down, and I look up enough to catch a cow looking at me. And it was close. Like, she was probably 50 yards or something. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, no, like, this is over. She's going to blow up. And I said, Trav, do not move. I said, whatever you do, I said, don't even look. I said, the cow's got us pinned down. Well, she did. She started, like, trying to move to get our wind or, get around to get our wind. And then I see the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And they actually headed right to the tree that originally we were going to try to get to. Well, long story short, then he bugles at 70 yards, or I don't know, 90 yards. I don't even know what it was. Close. And it was close enough where it's like shaking you.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the tips start coming. And I just told Trav, I said, hey, I'm going to range him. And he has no idea. He hasn't looked up yet, right? And I said, I'm going to range him, and I'm going to be telling you the range. But I said, you need to draw that bow, posture up, and kill this thing. And just like that, the bull walked literally to the tree. I clicked him a couple times. I said, it's going to be 70. Trav comes up full draw, finds the elk up on the hill, and he goes, I'm solid. And I'm like, send it. And he did.
Heck yeah. Well, did you have to move your pin down to 70, Travis, or were you on your knees? What'd you do?
While I was laying down, Curt was kind of telling me where that other cow was, and she was like at 60 at the end, at the end there, and he's like he's coming behind her, so I just started rolling at the 70 and had it ready to go, and he said 70, and literally in like one motion, I went back and pulled back and came up, and the rest is history.
Did you shoot him off your knees, or did you stand up?
You were on your knees.
I was still on my knees. I was
70 on your knees is.
Travis used to be on his knees. So
I knew there was somebody was going there.
It's only when Slade and those guys win one, I got to get down.
Yeah. Well, it's really like people never done it before. When that elk bugles sub 100, it's a T-Rex. It's a cross between a T-Rex and a tugboat. And look, you can't get on video the audio that happens, the noises. It's just magical. And those mountains, how it bounce. Oh, it's
coolest
just
sound in nature.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And
that Peyton, that one of your guys' agents down there.
I saw the video.
That video, I play it all the time. I love it.
Well, on that note, anyone from UC that's listening to this, we kind of coined the mule deer camp that we do every year out in Montana as the UC hunting properties, annual mule deer hunt. Now we have the elk hunt. This was the first. Next year, Slade and Ryan from Southern States will be joining us on the second annual. But anyone from UC that's interested, we did do a podcast. Our podcast is Stand on Your Investment. UC Hunting Properties, Stand
you
on
find
Your
that
Investment.
on all your planning on this platform.
Absolutely. And we did a hunt recap every night. And that was kind of cool because everyone's got a little different angle of the day. Everyone was going different directions. And Peyton from your guys' office won that hunt at convention. So.
Right. He won the hunt at convention. It's the same as Ben the year before. They weren't. Neither one of them were at that convention, and they didn't know they were even in for the drawing.
Yeah, in both cases, the brokers stepped up and bought the office or their agents spots at UC Hunting Properties.
Hey, Travis, I'm gonna let you hear it one time. I've got one right here. Hold on. Just listen. Come on. That was Blake's bull at about 40 yards.
Oh, that's just
it's something special. So anyway, we're all gonna be in Montana, and it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait. I'm like, I'm ready to start rucking around and getting ready and start whatever new expedition I'm shooting it at 100 and get. That's just the whole build up, the anticipation, and then it's just, I can't wait.
Well, it was cool this year because, Turtle was putting stuff out on social media the whole week while we were out there. And the whole point is, we all love to hunt and it's in our DNA. We do this, but it's fun to do it with other like-minded people. And it's cool to meet people and build that network from, all over the country, right? I didn't know Peyton Wilson from, the man on the moon until that hunt. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, I'd go on a hunt with him every year. Ben Jackson out of Texas. From the year before, same thing, close friend now.
I went on a hunt. I mean, me and Peyton sold a $1.7 million and we're about to relist it. So
nice.
And he's been hitting a couple big licks every once in a while. What'd you say there, hon? Yeah, Hunter made a good point. Drinking our mountain ops, getting ready for the elk. We actually hit a little Ignite up before we started the podcast, or at least I did. That's why
I've been hitting it every morning before we go to the trees.
I ain't gonna lie, that black cherry.
Oof, that's good.
That stuff, it's like Kool-Aid.
That's good.
Well, we're going to jump off of here. We're going to go to Expedition in the morning, and then we're heading to Missouri. So hopefully we'll be bringing you a podcast from Missouri. I'm super excited. We got one of our buddies with Titan Blinds coming down. Tony's coming down to hunt with us for opening rifle season. So tomorrow's Monday. Saturday, a rifle starts in Missouri. And so I'm going to bow hunt. Whack me a big one with my bow. Maybe a doe too. And weird. And then we're gonna start rifle hunting on Saturday. And cameraman Caleb's coming up. We're replacing Hunter Thursday, Friday, somewhere in there. So we got a lot going on this week, and it's fun because some of our properties in Missouri that I own this year I've not ever hunted before, and we've been watching cameras, and it's just fun. I don't know. It adds. It's kind of like coming hunting up here. Like you envision in your mind what the set's going to be like, and you get there, and it's like I would have never envisioned what we saw yesterday just because the angle. And I remember you saying it, but it's a big angle. And then the
Well, even tonight, like, not to drag this out, but we debated on what stand to sit tonight, and Slade
We
was going
picked
to
a good
video for
stand.
me. And I told him it's a transitionary, but I said it's the right transitionary.
It's on the X.
Yeah,
it's on the X.
They're basically criss and cross nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, heck, almost every buck we saw walked in range too. The one that come down is the only one. And if we'd have called at him because he was coming to the rattling, yeah, Curt hit the horns one time and 3 bucks came. I need to rub on those horns a little bit. Well, we're gonna jump off of here. Thank y'all for being on here. Hey, uchuntingproperties.com. Check it out. You can check out the Stand on Your Investment podcast. It's a lot of good information on there and only getting better and better. And then if you're in the Midwest, tell me, Travis, what all states is y'all's Midwest Lifestyle Properties now?
As of right now, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Kansas, and Michigan.
Nice. And I've already heard of one more that's coming. And it's a big buck killing state.
Yes, sir. Actually, 2.
I hadn't heard about it.
We're going to leave it at that.
We're going to leave it at that. Well, I'm just going to mess around in Mississippi and Louisiana. So do what I can. Coming up here whenever it's November and
May.
May.
All the way up here and didn't bring us Boudin, Trav.
I didn't. I'm going to send him some back up. I did have some cheese curds.
Yeah. He didn't have good cheese curds.
No, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'm with you, Trav. The best do come fresh out of Wisconsin, but these were pretty good.
I hear you. Well, we're going to jump off here. Thank y'all for being here. God bless. We're going to head to Missouri tomorrow, and we're going to continue the Rut Big Buck Killing Tour. Y'all have a blessed day.
Good luck.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Hunt Land Man podcast. If you will, take a moment, give us a 5-star written review, guys. This really helps us out. And if you know anybody you think will be interested in this podcast, please share it with them.